Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next hour. More leaders call Pakistan to act against homegrown terror. US Vice President J.D. Vance says Pakistan should cooperate to ensure that terrorists operating in its territory are hunted down. In the first major staffing shake-up of his second term, Donald Trump replaces Mike Waltz with Marco Rubio as National Security Advisor, also removes Deputy NSA. Apple shifts production to India to mitigate potential tariffs. CEO Tim Cook says majority of iPhones sold in the US in the current quarter will come from India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will commission Whittingham International Seaport today, marking India's big leap in global sea trade. This is India's first transshipment hub and first deep-water container terminal. Delhi-NCR experienced sudden change in weather this morning. Strong winds triggered a dust storm in several parts, accompanied by heavy rainfall. IMD issues yellow alert for the national capital. Day 2 of the WAVES Summit in Mumbai will host global media dialogue for the first time. Representatives from over 60 countries to attend. A top story taking it hard on Pakistan after the Pahalgam terror attack. US Vice President J.D. Vance expressed hope that Pakistan would work with India to track down terrorists who carried out the attack. In an interview with Fox News, Vance made his public remark on the attack, which left 26 people dead. Using the term terrorists, he said that Pakistan, to the extent cooperates with India to make sure the terrorists operating in their territory are hunted down and dealt with.
To the extent that they're responsible, cooperates with India to make sure that the terrorists, sometimes operating in their territory, are hunted down and dealt with. That's how we hope this unfolds. We're obviously in close contact. We'll see what happens.
Notably, Vance and his family was in India on a 4-day visit when the carnage took place. Moving on, Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Thursday in his first public remarks on the Pahalgam terror attack vowed revenge and warned the terrorists. Amit Shah said India will hunt each and every one responsible for Pahalgam terror attack, added worst is yet to come for them.
और मैं आज पूरे देश की जनता को ये बताना चाहता हूं कि 90 के दशक से कश्मीर में जो आतंकवाद चला रहे हैं उनके खिलाफ हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का जीरो टॉलरेंस का नीति है। हम मजबूती के साथ अपनी लड़ाई लड़े हैं और आज वो ये न समझ ले कि हमारे 27 नागरिकों का जान लेकर ये लड़ाई जीते हो। मैं सभी आतंक फैलाने वालों को कहना चाहता हूं कि लड़ाई का अंत नहीं है, एक मकाम है। हर व्यक्ति को चुन चुन कर जवाब भी मिलेगा, जवाब भी लिया जाएगा।
Pakistan continues to violate the ceasefire by initiating unprovoked small arms firing across the line of control in different sectors of Jammu and Kashmir, as well as along the international border in Jammu's Pargwal sector. Meanwhile, Indian Army troops responded in a calibrated and proportionate manner. The ceasefire violations along the LOC in Kashmir follow a series of measures taken by India in response to the Pahalgam terror attack, in which terrorists shot dead 26 civilians in Baisaran Meadow. Large number of Pakistani nationals were stranded at Attari border on Thursday as Pakistan didn't open up its gates for its own citizens. As per the latest order from the Ministry of Home Affairs, India has extended the deadline for Pakistani nationals to leave the country till further orders. In the order dated April 30th, Ministry of Home Affairs ordered that Pakistani nationals may be allowed to exit India to go into Pakistan from integrated checkpost at Attari till further orders with due clearance. Now, the portals of Kedarnath Dham, one of the 12 Jyotirlings of Lord Shiva, were opened for the devotees amid the chants of Har Har Mahadev today. Additional security personnel along the Yatra routes and at the temple premises has been deployed. To maintain decorum within the temple premises, authorities have imposed a ban on video recording and reels, aiming to preserve the sanctity of the rituals and prevent overcrowding due to filming activities. Meanwhile, the helicopter service for the 2025 Sri Kedarnath Dham Yatra commenced from Sonprayag in Uttarakhand, offering a convenient travel option for pilgrims. Uttarakhand Chief Minister has urged local residents and businesses to extend warm hospitality to the pilgrims. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Kerala today and will dedicate to the nation Veringam International Deepwater Multi-Purpose Seaport worth Rs 8,900 crore. It is country's first dedicated container transshipment port that represents the transformative advancements being made in India's maritime sector as part of the unified vision of Viksit Bharat. Veringam Port, having strategic importance, has been identified as a key priority project which will contribute in strengthening India's position in global trade, enhance logistics efficiency and reduce reliance on foreign ports for cargo transshipment. Its natural deep draft of nearly 20 meters and location near one of the world's busiest sea trade routes further strengthens India's position in global trade. Later in the day, Prime Minister to visit Andhra Pradesh, where he will lay the foundation stone and dedicate to the nation multiple development projects worth over Rs 58,000 crore in Amravati. In line with his commitment to ensure world-class infrastructure and connectivity across the country, Prime Minister will inaugurate 7 national highway projects in Andhra Pradesh, will also dedicate to the nation railway projects aimed at enhancing connectivity and boosting capacity. Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of missile test range at Nagai Lanka in Andhra Pradesh worth around Rs 1,460 crore. It will comprise a launch center, technical instrumentation facilities, indigenous radars, telemetry and electro-optical systems, enhancing the country's defense preparedness. The Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone of PM Ekta Mall at Madhuravada in Visakhapatnam. It has been envisioned with the objective of fostering national integration, supporting the Make in India initiative, promoting one district, one product, generating employment opportunities, empowering rural artisans and enhancing the market presence of indigenous products. Angola President João Manuel Goncalves Lourenço arrived on a 3-day visit to India. Accompanied by a high-level delegation, the visiting president will meet Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today, while on Saturday, that is tomorrow, he will be accorded a ceremonial welcome at the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan. He will hold discussions with President Draupadi Murmu, who will host a banquet in honour of the visiting dignitary. President Lourenço will have delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who will also host a luncheon in his honour. A number of MOUs agreements are expected to be signed during the visit, which shall give a fillip to bilateral relations. This is President Lourenço's first ever bilateral state visit to India. A visit of the President of Angola to India is taking place after 38 years, and the visit comes at a time when India and Angola are celebrating the 40th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations this year. India and Angola enjoy warm and friendly relations built over the years. Both countries support each other's candidature at various multilateral fora, including in the UN. Moving on, India's Ministry of Culture, in collaboration with the International Buddhist Confederation, is for the first time holding an exposition of the sacred Buddha relic of Sarnath in Vietnam during the United Nations Day of Vesak 2025. They will be welcomed with a ceremonial reception at the airport in Ho Chi Minh City. The Indian delegation is being led by Union Minister Kiren Rijiju. The relics will be in Vietnam for 20 days from today and will travel through 4 cities, including Ho Chi Minh City, where the UNDV event will be held. Over 3 million devotees are expected to pay homage to the relics during the exhibition period. Vietnam is a country with a majority Buddhist population, and for them the relics are not just symbols but the Buddha himself. The timing is also significant. It coincides with Vietnam's National Day and the Vesak Day celebrations. India's Delhi and the National Capital Region experienced relief from the heat wave on Friday morning as severe thunderstorms and rain brought temperatures down. The India Met Department has forecast rain and thunderstorms for the next 3 days, with a yellow alert issued for the national capital. Waterlogging has also been reported in several parts of Delhi, including Lajpat Nagar, R.K. Puram and Dwarka. This also led to significant disruptions in flight schedules at Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport on Friday, causing delays and diversions for several passengers. The airport confirmed that some flights were affected due to the inclement weather. Northwest India, including Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh and Himachal Pradesh, is expected to experience light to moderate rainfall and strong winds due to a western disturbance. A dust storm accompanied with gusty winds is also very likely at isolated places over Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, Punjab and Rajasthan. As the calendar inches closer to June 21st, a palpable wave of anticipation is building across the globe. From bustling city squares to serene mountain retreats, communities are gearing up to celebrate the International Day of Yoga, a testament to the enduring appeal and profound impact of this ancient Indian practice.
This United Nations designated day, born from a recognition of yoga's profound universal benefits, has evolved into a vibrant global movement. The significance of yoga, far transcending its perceptions as mere exercise, lies in its holistic approach to health. Beyond the tangible physical and mental advantages, yoga fosters a crucial mind-body connection. The synchronized movements, controlled breathing, and meditative elements cultivate a heightened sense of self-awareness. This inward focus can lead to greater emotional resilience and a more balanced perspective on life's challenge.
All right, we'll go live across to Waves 2025 happening in Mumbai, where the global media dialogue is taking place for the first time.
I again make a request to kindly take your respective seats. We are about to begin the proceedings. Dr. S. Jaishankar, Honorable Minister of External Affairs, Government of India. Shri Ashwini Vaishnav, Honorable Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Railways and Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. Dr. L. Murugan, Honorable Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting and Parliamentary Affairs, Government of India. Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, and distinguished delegates of the participating countries of this global media dialogue. A very good morning and a warm welcome to you all to the Global Media Dialogue of 2025. This Global Media Dialogue has been conceived as a government-to-government platform within Waves to harness the full potential of the media and entertainment sector as a catalyst for positive change and global harmony. The sessions ahead will offer a unique opportunity to share experiences, address common challenges, and forge new pathways for cooperation under the guiding vision of the Waves framework. Thank you all for being here and for contributing to what promises to be an enriching and fruitful dialogue. It is my honor to invite the honorable chairs now to deliver the opening remarks. May I request Honorable Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Railways, Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, Shri Ashwini Vaishnav ji, to deliver the opening remarks for today's session. Sir.
Thank you. Honorable Minister for External Affairs and my senior colleague, Dr. Jayashankar, my colleague in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Murugan, Secretary Jaju, Excellencies from across the world, Honorable Ministers and distinguished delegates. Namaste. Wish you all a very warm welcome to Mumbai. I hope the city is treating you well. This is the city of dreams, as we say in India. My friends, it's a privilege for India to convene the first ever World Audio Visual Entertainment Summit, WAVES, and initiate the global media dialogue on this fabulous world of creativity. Friends, we meet at an inflection point. Technologies are reshaping how we tell stories, how we create content, and how content is consumed. Globally, the media and entertainment industry is valued around $3 trillion US dollars, but its true value goes far beyond the numbers. The true value lies in the empathy that it creates, in the ideas that it conveys, and in the future that it helps us imagine. Today we invite you to help widen this bridge into an expressway of ideas. We can clearly see three anchors for our dialogue: creativity, culture, and collaboration. First, creativity. Creativity transforms imagination into shared experience. As a government, we must provide a fair chance for everyone to showcase their story to the world. We must incentivize local content promotion and enforce IP rights in a proper framework, among other things that we need to do in creativity. Second, culture. Culture inspires creativity and it connects people across borders. We must support policies that preserve and promote all cultural forms. Focus is shifting towards local stories, the local culture, and we aim to build people-to-people and country-to-country exchanges. Third, collaboration. Friends, nothing happens in an island. We all have to collaborate for common success. We believe that tie-ups, collaborations between government, industry and creators and government to government, these collaborations have a huge value. Practical steps in this include co-production treaties, easing licenses, easing talent movement, having joint funds, having jointly created standards and clear rules for the upcoming technology. Excellencies, the expected outcome of this dialogue is a constructive declaration. A draft global media dialogue declaration has been shared with your offices. I thank you all for working very diligently on it. The teams from across the world are working on it. This draft declaration captures our shared goals: bridging the digital divide, preserving cultural diversity, and fostering fair and innovative markets. Today's roundtable is a chance to shape the text so that it reflects every region and every aspiration. Thank you, Excellencies. We look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now it is my privilege to invite the Honorable Minister for External Affairs, Government of India, Dr. S. Jayashankar, to share his opening remarks. Sir.
Thank you very much. My ministerial colleagues, Ashwini Vaishnav ji, Murugan ji, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure, great honor to address the global media dialogue of the first WAVE Summit. And I thank the ministers and distinguished heads of organizations and all the delegates from across the world for your participation and presence here today. We have a microcosm of the global community at Waves. Content creators, policymakers, actors, writers, producers, visual artists, and others. And the lively conversations and the intense networking that we seek to promote are supplemented by exhibitions, innovation pavilions, creativity bazaars, and technology kiosks. This conversation at the beginning of day 2, however, holds a special significance because we are discussing as policymakers the contours of the emerging environment. So allow me on this occasion to make 5 points for your collective consideration. 1, we all speak of a world under transformation. It is vital to recognize that the process of change actually has a strong cultural dimension. The truth is that the world is intrinsically and essentially diverse, and that pluralism has been suppressed in the past by both colonialism and big power dominance. As we seek now to democratize the international system, it is not enough to just assert political and economic independence. It is equally essential that we give voice to our traditions, to our heritage, to ideas, to practices, and to our creativity. There are many voices, many experiences, and many truths that make up our world. Each one has a right to express itself and must be facilitated to do so. 2, that is best done by harnessing more effectively the power of technology. In its application and evolution, we must be guided by the belief that modernity is not a rejection of the past, but a constant quest built on human achievements. For that reason, technology and tradition must go hand in hand. In many ways, technology can strengthen awareness of our vast heritage and deepen consciousness about it, especially for younger generations. We also bear in mind that innovation is key to the leapfrogging that will create a developed India by 2047, what we call Viksit Bharat. 3, as the world comes closer, we can contemplate both a global workplace and a global workforce. Both digital connectivity and physical logistics make this a growing reality. But we need accompanying shifts in mindsets, frameworks, policies, and practices. Remember, neither talent nor tasking will be stationary. Smoother mobility can certainly contribute to stronger creativity. 4, every era has its own mode of communication, of storytelling, of entertainment, and of its pastimes. We have seen it evolve from the oral and the written to the visual and the digital. Today, there is a surfeit of information, and the challenge is actually how to get attention. This challenge is what will make ours an age of creative comms, of creative sports, of creative collaboration. And it is particularly important that young talent is made ready for it, including through skills diffusion. And finally, 5, we all sense, we all know that the era of AI holds possibilities beyond imagination. Never before have we visualized such deep changes across such vast domains. Never before can we combine innovations from such diverse fields so effectively. Our very sense of the past and the present can be redefined even as we are working for the future with all its accompanying consequences. Now, every advancement comes with its own issues, and AI will be no different. Even as the politics of this era will grapple with the concerns of authenticity, businesses will have to deal with new intellectual property challenges as they promote innovation and creativity for all. The responsible use of emerging technologies will be an increasing preoccupation. Reducing bias, democratizing content, and prioritizing its ethics are all part of the emerging discourse. And there is much more there that will unfold. So, friends, I'm confident that the Waves platform will serve to deliberate on the key issues before the global media, entertainment, and creative worlds. Once again, I welcome you all to this session and look forward to a productive roundtable. I thank you for your attention.
All right, so we were getting you these live visuals from Waves 2025 happening in Mumbai, where the global media dialogue was taking place. Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, in his opening remarks, said that it's a privilege for India to convene first edition of Waves. He mentioned about creativity, culture and collaboration and why these are important for the success of the summit. Dr. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister, in his opening remarks made 5 points. He spoke about transformation, important to give voice to creativity, culture, etc. He also mentioned about the power of technology. Technology and tradition, he said, should go hand in hand. He spoke about global workplace and global workforce. He also mentioned about mode of communication, how to get the attention, digital technology and creativity collaboration. And finally, he said that era of AI, artificial intelligence, holds possibilities beyond imagination. Still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Donald Trump turns to US Supreme Court as court rules against his use of Alien Enemies Act to deport Venezuelans. China evaluates US offer for negotiations on tariffs, demands sincerity from Washington. And London sees hottest start to May in recorded history.
Always welcoming. The vibe of Punjab is larger than life. Warm up to grandeur that's beyond compare. And history that's dotted with tales of bravery. Smiling soul of India, where music, art, cuisine and culture comes together to create an unforgettable impression. Punjab is all set to win your hearts with its unique and colorful extravaganza.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Recap of our top story. More leaders call Pakistan to act against homegrown terror. US Vice President J.D. Vance says Pakistan should cooperate to ensure that terrorists operating in its territory are hunted down. In the first major staffing shake-up of his second term, Trump replaces Mike Waltz with Marco Rubio as National Security Advisor. Also removes Deputy NSA. Apple shifts production to India to mitigate potential tariffs. CEO Tim Cook says majority of iPhones sold in the US in the current quarter will come from India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will commission Vizhinjam International Seaport today, marking India's big leap in global sea trade. This is India's first transshipment hub and first deep water container terminal. Delhi-NCR experienced sudden change in weather this morning. Strong winds triggered a dust storm in several parts, accompanied by heavy rainfall. IMD issues yellow alert for the national capital. And day 2 of the WAVE Summit in Mumbai witnesses global media dialogue. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says this era of AI holds possibilities beyond imagination. US President Donald Trump dismissed National Security Advisor Mike Waltz on Thursday amid a controversy involving a chat group leak, announcing plans to nominate him as the next ambassador to the United Nations. In his first major cabinet reshuffle of the new term, President Trump named Secretary of State Marco Rubio as interim National Security Advisor after Mike Waltz's departure. Trump praised Mike Waltz for prioritizing national interests throughout his military, congressional and advisory roles as he announced his reassignment on a social media platform, Truth. The 51-year-old ex-Special Forces officer and Florida congressman had faced uncertainty since the Signal Gate scandal broke in March. Waltz served a little more than 100 days in Trump's second term. The US manufacturing fell for the second consecutive month in April as tariffs on imported goods stretched supply chains, keeping factory gate prices high and driving some firms to lay off workers. A study released on Thursday by the Institute for Supply Management revealed that manufacturing index slipped to 48.7% in April, a touch below its level in March and below the 50-point mark separating expansion from contraction. The survey covered Trump's Liberation Day tariff announcement, which ushered in sweeping duties on most imports from the United States trade partners, including raising duties on Chinese goods to 145%, sparking a trade war with Beijing. There was no sign in the survey that factories continued to front-run imports last month, though the fear of high prices from tariffs could have prompted businesses to get in their orders sooner. And after months of bluster and huge tariffs on both sides, Beijing and the Trump administration are softening their stance. China said that it is evaluating a US offer for negotiations on tariffs, but wanted Washington to show sincerity and be ready to scrap levies that have roiled global markets and supply chains. Punishing US tariffs that have reached 145% on many Chinese products came into force in April, while Beijing has responded with fresh 125% duties on imports from the United States. Beijing's Commerce Ministry on Friday confirmed the US had reached out and that it was currently evaluating the offer. Chinese exports soared more than 12% in March as businesses rushed to get ahead of the swinging tariffs. Now, Tokyo's envoy for US tariff talks in Washington, Rose Akazawa, said the second round of negotiations between the two countries had been frank and constructive on Thursday. Japan, a key US ally and its biggest investor, is subject to the same 10% baseline tariffs imposed on most nations, plus steeper levies on cars, steel and aluminium. Akazawa stated that the progress was made towards a mutually beneficial deal which would be presented as a package once finalized. In early April, Trump announced 24% reciprocal tariffs on Japan but paused them for 90 days. President Donald Trump's administration asked the US Supreme Court on Thursday to intervene in its bid to strip temporary protected status for more than 300,000 Venezuelan migrants. A United States judge on Thursday issued a permanent injunction preventing the administration of President Donald Trump from using the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport Venezuelans from South Texas. It follows similar, if temporary, orders barring the government's use of the law as Trump seeks the rapid removal of undocumented immigrants from the country. Trump had issued an executive proclamation on March 15 to invoke the law against members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. He He argued that Tren Aragua was perpetrating an invasion of and predatory incursion into the United States, thereby justifying such extreme measures. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on Thursday said that she had a very good conversation with her U.S. counterpart Donald Trump. Sheinbaum said the two agreed that their country's top finance, treasury, trade and economy officials would continue working to improve their trade balance and advance outstanding issues that would benefit both countries. The call comes 2 days after Trump announced a significant shift in his tariff policy, especially aimed at easing restrictions on the automotive sector. This policy adjustment represents a substantial relief for Mexico, which operates under the USMCA free trade agreement.
It was a very good conversation. Although there is no specific agreement, the important thing is that we are working on it. The United States government and we desire to reach even better agreements on trade matters. The US government is very interested in reducing what it calls the deficit with Mexico. For some time now, we have been proposing that we look for ways throughout the economy to buy more from the United States and, in other words, to have even more trade than we currently have on both sides for the benefit of both countries.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed an attack near Syria's presidential palace in Damascus early on Friday, reiterating his vow to protect members of the Druze community. This marks the second Israeli strike in as many days amid sectarian violence. Israeli strikes have further complicated interim President Ahmed al-Shara's efforts to stabilize the country. Earlier on Wednesday, in Syria's southern province of Swida, heartland of the Druze minority, 40 Druze fighters were killed, with 35 dying in an ambush on the road to Damascus. Now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky praised the minerals agreement with the United States as a genuinely equal and fair deal on Thursday, calling it the first outcome of his Vatican meeting with US President Donald Trump. Zelensky said the minerals deal opens the way for the modernization of industries in Ukraine. The US and Ukraine have signed a national resources deal allowing Washington access to Kiev's rare minerals deposits. The agreement gives the US preferential access to new Ukrainian national resources deals, but does not automatically hand Washington a share of Ukraine's mineral wealth or any of its gas infrastructure.
Not truly an equitable agreement, one that creates opportunities for substantial investment in Ukraine as well as significant modernization of Ukraine's industries and, equally importantly, its legal practices. The agreement does not recognize any debt and a fund is being set up, a reconstruction fund that will invest in Ukraine and generate returns here. This means joint work with America based on fair terms, allowing both Ukraine and the United States, which supports us in our defense, to make money in partnership.
Угода значно змінилась в процесі.
South Korea's acting President Lee Joo-ho held an emergency National Security Council meeting on Friday and vowed to safeguard national security. Speaking at the security meeting, Lee said there must be no lapse in readiness against any possible North Korea aggression. Education Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Lee Joo-ho took over instead as acting president from midnight, becoming the fourth person to act as South Korea's head of state since December. On Thursday, Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, who has been serving as acting president, however, Han on Friday said that he would join the race to become the country's next president. Han was serving his second stint as head of cabinet when he became acting president on December 14 after then President Yoon Suk-yeol was impeached by Parliament for his short-lived move to impose martial law. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Choi Sang-mok resigned late Thursday, just minutes before the National Assembly was set to vote on a motion to impeach him. Following Choi's resignation, National Assembly Speaker Woo Won-shik halted proceedings on the impeachment motion vote, saying the government had been informed of Choi's dismissal. The June 3 vote will decide who replaces impeached ex-president Yoon Suk-yeol, who was removed from office over his ill-fated declaration of martial law in December. Now, the UK has experienced its hottest start to May on record on Thursday, with temperatures reaching 28 degrees Celsius. Britain's Met Office reported that temperatures at London's Kew Gardens reached record-breaking levels, officially marking the warmest start to May ever recorded in the UK. The unseasonably warm weather drew crowds of residents and tourists to parks and city streets to enjoy the sunshine. The previous record high temperature for the first day of May was 27.4 degrees Celsius at Lossiemouth in Scotland in 1990. And dozens of Berliners took the season's first official dip in Lake Wannsee on Thursday as Europe's largest inland water, Lido, opened its doors for the first time this year. Under a brilliant sun and with the air temperature soaring to 20 degrees Celsius, the cold 14 degree Celsius waters couldn't deter the hardy beachgoers who gathered to take their first dip of the year. The Wannsee Lido, a sprawling 1.2-kilometer stretch of beach lined with Baltic Sea sand, has been a beloved summer destination since its grand opening in 1907. As the sunny and warm spring days spread over most of Germany, beachgoers at Cologne's Lake Radersee also enjoyed the heat of the first days of the beach season there. After more than 30 hours of relentless firefighting, crews in Israel have successfully contained the wildfires that tore through the outskirts of Jerusalem. Fueled by extreme heat and strong winds, the wildfires spread fast, burning over 20 square kilometers of land and putting homes and wildlife at risk. The situation is now under control thanks to the firefighters who worked hard to contain the flames, but they remain vigilant to prevent new flare-ups. As authorities investigate the cause of the fire, the exact origin of the blaze remains unknown. Still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. India's Finance Minister hails record high GST collections in April. Fourth seed Coco Gauff thrashes Poland's Iga Świątek to reach finals of the Madrid Open 2025. And joins us as we remember India's legendary filmmaker Satyajit Ray, the man of many talents.
Welcome to Kumarakom, Kerala, God's own country.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. Apple CEO Tim Cook said that India will play a major role in making iPhones destined for the US market. Cook stated that tariffs are disrupting Apple's supply chain and the company is shifting production to countries like India and Vietnam to mitigate the impact. The move is part of Apple's efforts to minimize the aftermath of US tariffs on its sales and profit margins under President Donald Trump's trade policies. According to researchers, Apple ramped up iPhone production in India towards the end of the quarter, while Vietnam will be the origin for most iPads, Macs, Apple Watches and AirPods sold in the US. China will remain the main production hub for non-US markets. Tit-for-tat exchanges have seen hefty US levies imposed on China, with Beijing setting retaliatory barriers on US imports. Now, India and the European Union seek to finalize their free trade agreement by the end of this year. Commerce Minister of India Piyush Goyal recently engaged in a trade dialogue with EU Commissioner for Trade and Economic Security Maros Sefcovic to reaffirm their commitment and strengthen their economic ties. The core focus was laid down on enhancing market access for the businesses, ensuring diversified supply chains and fostering innovation in order to boost competitiveness. With strong leadership from both ends, India and the EU look forward to striking a deal that drives economic growth and sustainable development. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has hailed the record GST collection in April, saying it showcases the resilience of Indian economy and effectiveness of cooperative federalism. In a social media post, Sitharaman expressed deepest gratitude to the taxpayers whose contributions and faith in the GST architecture drive the nation's progress. She said their contributions reflect a shared commitment to building a Viksit Bharat. Gross GST collections for April witnessed a 12.6% increase over the gross collection in April 2024, while net GST collections saw 9.1% growth compared to last year. Boosting India's services sector, Niti Aayog member Dr. Arvind Virmani chaired first stakeholder consultation on domestic regulations in professional services. The consultation was organized by Niti Aayog in collaboration with the Centre for Trade and Investment Law. Dr. Virmani highlighted India's demographic advantage and the increasing global demand for skilled professionals. He stressed the need for capacity building, upskilling and adoption of emerging technologies to enhance service delivery and boost India's global competitiveness. US President Donald Trump is set to present his budget proposal for the 2026 fiscal year today. His address will comprise plans on the major spending and the economic forecast. While Congress will have the final call on the budget, Trump seeks to slash significant tax and propose $1 trillion military budget, citing that tariffs will help offset cost. Trump's plan also includes $160 billion slashing in the areas of environment, education as well as the foreign aid programs. As the Republicans engage in resolving the internal disagreements over federal spending to pass a tax cut bill by July 4th, Trump's public engagements followed by the budget proposal pose a bold approach towards the country's economy. General Motors pledged on Thursday to take additional steps to boost its US supply chain after projecting a $4.5 billion hit to the US auto giant's 2025 earnings from President Donald Trump's tariffs. CEO Mary Barra said General Motors expects to offset at least 30% of that tariff hit from self-help measures that include relatively quick changes to its production and supply chain footprint. GM's previous guidance for earnings before interest and taxes was between $13.7 billion and $15.7 billion. Earlier, US President Donald Trump signed an executive order to limit the impact of multiple overlapping tariffs on automakers. He also released a proclamation that gives the industry a 2-year grace period to move supply chains back to the United States. Sports updates now. We'll start with Indian Premier League. Shubman Gill's Titans strive for a return to winning ways as Gujarat Titans will host Pat Cummins' struggling Sunrisers Hyderabad in the 51st match of the IPL on Friday. The Titans were blown away by Rajasthan Royals opener Vaibhav Sooryavansh's incredible 101 of 38 balls in the last game. Titans suffered an 8-wicket defeat in a rare hiccup in what has been an otherwise impressive campaign for them. Despite the loss, the 2022 champions are placed 4th in the tournament standings. Meanwhile, after a disappointing losing streak, Pat Cummins Sunrisers got a lift in the last game as they defeated Chennai Super Kings. Although their victory didn't change their fortunes drastically but kept a glimmer of hope alive, placed 9th with just 6 points after 9 games, the Sunrisers can qualify if they win all of their remaining matches. And updates from the ongoing Madrid Open tournament. 4th seed Coco Gauff dominated Poland's Iga Świątek 6-1, 6-1 in a mere 64 minutes in the semi-finals of Thursday night. Gauff reached the final at this WTA 1000 event for the first time and is on the precipice of her first title of 2025. Meanwhile, top seed Aryna Sabalenka continued her Madrid Open mastery with a 6-3, 7-5 semi-final victory over number 17 seed Elina Svitolina on Thursday night. Sabalenka needed 1 hour and 32 minutes to hold off Svitolina and ended the Ukrainians' undefeated clay court run this year. With this win, Sabalenka is heading to her 4th Madrid final. And world champion D. Gukesh will lead India against Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura and the USA in a new 5-board team match which will take place in Arlington on October 4 this year. The event will also see Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana take on Grandmaster Arjun Erigese, including a duel between two of the world's biggest chess ambassadors, International Master Levi Rozman, known as Gotham Chess, and International Master Sagar Shah. Meanwhile, one of the most exciting young players in US chess, International Master Carissa Yip, will go up against India's 19-year-old International Master Divya Deshmukh, who is the world's highest-rated female player under 21. The full slate of 5 boards includes a mix of established stars, content creators, women's champions and junior prodigies. Team USA will be white on all boards for home advantage, while the second leg is expected to take place in India soon. Legendary filmmaker Satyajit Ray revolutionized Indian cinema. Born on May 2, 1921 in the then Calcutta, Ray was a man of many talents. Ray's debut film Pathar Panchali is a masterpiece and still inspires filmmakers worldwide. Bestowed with the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award, Satyajit Ray is also the first Indian to have received the honorary Oscar in 1992. DD India's Tanvi Taneja has more.
Such were the incredible celluloid skills of Satyajit Ray that renowned Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa once said that not to have seen the cinema of Satyajit Ray means existing in the world without seeing the sun or the moon. Not only did Ray hold audiences spellbound with his storytelling skills, he also catered to a diverse audience. In his early years, Ray worked as a visualizer and illustrator for advertising agencies, using that experience to hone his skills in visual storytelling. These experiences, along with his literary lineage and innate artistic talents, laid the foundations for the creation of the genius filmmaker in Satyajit Ray. Inspired by the works of Western filmmakers like Jean Renoir and Vittorio De Sica, Satyajit Ray made his first film, Pathar Panchali, in 1955. Pathar Panchali went on to define Indian cinema and won 11 international awards, including the Best Human Document Award at the 1956 Cannes Film Festival. The film, along with Aparajato and Apur Sansar, formed the Apur trilogy, a compelling Bengali series. Ray's attention to humanism and his meticulous control over his films set him apart as one of the greatest filmmakers of the 20th century.
Kajol, chole esho. Chole esho. Kajula!
Dadu bokbe.
Dadu jante parbe na. Dadu ke ami bolbo na. Esho.
Apart from the Apur trilogy, Jalsa Ghar, Mahanagar, Charulata, Janaranya and Aguntuk showcased Ray's ability to capture everyday life with complete authenticity and deep sincerity. Ray's versatility, for he was also a noted author, is showcased in the characters he created in the form of Detective Feluda and Professor Shonko. Besides winning a record 36 Indian National Film Awards and numerous awards at international film festivals, Ray was also the first Indian filmmaker to receive an honorary Academy Award in the year 1992. Eminent Iranian filmmaker Majid Majidi are among the numerous film personalities who have expressed their deep respect and profound admiration for Ray's cinematic creations. Today, on his birth anniversary, we once again remember and deeply appreciate this great filmmaker's cinematic skills and timeless celluloid creations. Tanvi Taneja for DD India.
Well, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.